Okay, Arman here, and then we're going to still continue on with understanding hormones, because like I mentioned before, there's a lot to know. So now we're going to talk about the IGF-1, which stands for Insulin Growth Factor-1. All right, so what this does, it's produced by the liver, and it works with the growth hormone, okay, because as it's produced by the liver, it's going to promote muscle, bone, and other tissues, and so it helps regulate glucose and lipid metabolism as well. So when the IGF-1 is at a good high mark, that means you're burning energy, you're building muscle, you're maintaining everything the way it needs to be. When it starts getting lower, then that's going to start causing other issues. And again, if you start having lipid issues, it's a sign that we need to be checking this IGF-1 to see how it's doing and how it's, if it's getting better, if it's getting worse. And there's different ways to stimulate it. Sleep's really good one to get it re-stimulated, and then exercise. Exercise helps to really jumpstart it. And then on top of that, sunlight. For some reason, that's the way it affects the hormone. Sunlight will cause you to generate more IGF-1, and that also does help with growth hormone release as well. Sunlight will do that too with growth hormone release. You get growth hormone release when you sleep, and then in the sunlight. And these are all excellent for fat burning and to keep energy levels up. Now, one of the things that will affect your IGF-1 as a marker is if you start seeing low levels, it could be a sign of insulin resistance. And again, I'm going to be repeating that insulin resistant words a lot because it's a problem. And it's because of poor nutrition or something's going wrong with the body, and we need to fix it, because if you don't fix it, it's going to lead to a lot more serious problems, especially diabetes, which is going to cause other damage to your organs, which that's not good. So we want to manage that. There's different ways, again, to do that. Again, you want to work with the right medical professional to get the right protocol to keep it at a good optimal range, closer to the higher level if you can. That's one area that I've had a little bit of struggle with. Mine is like 105, 108. Your high range is 247. So I'd like to get a little bit higher, but I just don't know if it's ever going to happen. But I'm still working on it to try to do things to improve it. And so that's the thing, is you want to get on these things early, because sometimes it's hard to turn the corner and boost it back up. There are, there are exceptions, but for me, that's been more of a tougher area. Okay, so the next is TSH, which stands for Thyroid Stimulating Hormone, which the thyroid's located here. And we need the thyroid to be working at a really high level to have the mitochondria, keep your energy levels up, help you burn fat, helps regulate your body temperature. So it's you're burning fat. If you lower body temperature, you're not going to be as metabolically effective. So it keeps that metabolism firing at all cylinders. That's why we like to have iodine in a diet to keep that hormone nourished the right way. But it's also produced by the pituitary, and so the pituitary tells the gland how to make more thyroid. And so what it's going to do is it's going to stimulate the production of thyroxine, which is T4, and also the triiodothyronine, T3. Some of these words are just brutal. But anyways, what we want to do is manage the TSH and the T4 and T3. There's also another element to this called reverse T3. But these are measurement systems to determine if the thyroid is working at an optimal level. It's like for me, my thyroid is not working at an optimal level, so I take Armour to help my conversion of the T4 and T3 with my day-to-day needs to nourish my thyroid gland and make sure it's functioning at the right level. Now, there's a lot of debate about which type of thyroid stimulant to use, and so I'll just say this: I talked to quite a few doctors, and the ones that are more homeopathic or osteopathic, they're going to recommend that you go the Armour desiccated thyroid part, because it's naturally occurring. It just helps to nourish the gland the right way. But there's a lot of proponents that want to use the synthetic, and so the arguments that I got back and forth on this is, the synthetic is harder on the gland and can, if not dialed in right, can wear the gland out quicker, versus you don't really get that with the Armour. And that's what I've been told. And there's always a lot of debates on all this stuff too, so you have to take that with a grain of salt and do your own homework on it. But I just knew from my own personal experience and what I've been experiencing with other clients that we'd recommend the Armour first and foremost. But if it's not responding, then you definitely want to go the other route, because you need the thyroid gland to be working at a high level all the time. Good energy, good body temperature, and that kind of stuff. All right, so we got one more section we're going to go through with understanding hormones, and we'll kind of see. Obviously, we have questions on that. Just throw that in the group and let us know, and we can comment and see if we can help. All right, talk to you again real soon.